Rick and I actually live very close together down in the Daytona Beach, Florida area. Okay, I see him high above our crowd. Rick, I'm going to step away. You've got the microphone. The Lima Lima flight team from Chicago, Illinois.
Thank you, Eric. Good afternoon, Chicago! And now, approaching the show center, representing from Naperville, Illinois, the world's first formation flight team, the Lima Lima flight team. Introducing the team today, Rick Nichols from Lake City, Florida, Skip Alden. Number 2 on the right wing from Fulton City, Maryland, Steve Smith. Number 3 on the left wing from Montgomery, Illinois, Mark Miller. Number 4 in the slot position from Oak Park, Illinois, Brian McCann. Number 5, our lead solo from Lake City, Florida, Gary Donovan. And number 6, our opposing solo from Schaumburg, Illinois, John Rippon. That's the hardest part of my job today is getting the lineup right, so the rest of it's all great. My name is Rick Nichols. I'm from Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm one of the pilots of the team, but I've been active as a narrator for a while now. I made the mistake of taking my airplane apart. They said, well, since you don't have an airplane to fly, you're going to be our narrator. Nothing wrong with that, because I certainly like sharing all this with all of you today. Working with people like Herb Hunter, the flight team for this air show. Back to show center here. And we need this to set up for a series of head-to-head maneuvers. So if you'd like to take videos or photos, at those out of the way, I'll give you a heads up. Those opportunities to send them out. Now, as Herb said, we've been flying for 26 years. I'm originated in Naperville, Illinois. That's where we get our name from. The airport designated for Neighbor Aero within the airport that they started at is LL10, like Chicago's ORD, that's LL10. In the aviation world, the letter L is spoken phonetically as Lima. And they got to be known as the Lima Lima Boys. Hence the Lima Lima flight team. In fact, the team's leader, Gene Martin, years ago said, I would have known they were going to be around for this long, I would have named the team something way more cooler than that. But that's what we're stuck with now, and that's what we work with. All right, here comes our next maneuver, a head-to-head maneuver we call it. Off to the left, the 4-ship diamond, the smoke is on. Off to the right, the 2 solos is smoke on. They got each other in sight, and they're heading at each other at a close speed of over 300 miles an hour. I don't know what's going to happen here. They're going to get pretty close to each other. Oh, they got so close they scared Brian McCann, the slot pilot, right out of the formation into a back performance line. David Singer, here's something you like today. Give him an applause. We always like it. Hey, let me knock the blind on the radar real quick, make sure he's okay. Brian, you all right up there? What? You weren't scared? All right, I thought you were scared. You're just playing around. All right. The crowd joined that. Very good. You got him in sight there. There you go. Join up with the rest of them here. He's got him. He's back into the ball game here. Now, so I say they started at Neighbor Aero some 26 years ago. The guys just started experimenting with flying formation. And next thing you know, they were being invited to air shows. And as Herb said, this was the very first air show the team ever did. And we've flown every one since. And we certainly like to thank Rudy and his crew for inviting us in the city of Chicago, for inviting us back one more year. And we absolutely appreciate that. Now, these bright yellow aircraft you see here flying, these are a T-34 Mentor built by the Beechcraft Corporation. Developed in 1949 as a military training for primary flight training. The Air Force used the A model, the Navy used the B model. We're flying both the A and the B models today. Powered by a piston engine, they've been modified with a higher performance engine than they were in the original. Originally, they just had a 225 horsepower motor. Now we're pushing 285, 300 horsepower. All right, back to the show center are 2 solo aircraft gliding down. They're going to do a little practice, a little skywriting here. Let's see if we can figure out with the drawing here. We can't be outdone. We've had a couple other groups already do this maneuver for you. So we're drawing another heart for you. So once again, from the Lima Lima flight team, from our heart to yours, thank you Now rapidly coming back to show center, off to the right here is the diamond formation again. And then the maneuver we call this the diamond high bend 360. It's a minimum radius turn here. Also gives you a nice photo opportunity with the diamond formation. One of the best looking formations out there in the full shift formation. You can see why we call it a diamond, kind of forms that. We've got 4 corners there. Boss is leading around in a tight turn. He's loading up the G's, pulling about 3 G's as he completes that turn there. And listen to him on the radio, says he's pulling 4 G's down as they complete that turn and rolling out there. Now leading that formation and the entire team, Skip Aldous. Skip's the retired Air Force fighter pilot with over 8,000 flying hours. Currently owns several motorcycle dealerships throughout the southeast United States. Talking about the airplane again, it was a perfect aircraft for use for primary flight training. Fairly easy to fly, forgiving. Even working on it, it was easy to work on, easy to maintain. So that cuts down the cost, so that's important in that kind of activity. So we taught students how to fly with this aircraft right from their first takeoff to their first landing. They advanced into learning how to fly basic instruments, then into aerobatics and formation, and then into radio instruments before they moved on to a bigger and faster aircraft. And the Navy ended up making a 234C model, which was a turboprop version of the same aircraft. It's also being replaced today. That came out in 1976. And that's what I instructed down there in Pensacola when I was in the Navy. All right, the next maneuver, we call this the double overtake. Off to the left, 3 aircraft in a formation we call the dip. Now they've slowed down the landing speed. They got the gear on the flaps down, demonstrating how slow you can go. They're going to be doing about 70 miles an hour or so. And high behind them, you see the 2 solos diving down at max performance airspeed. The trick here is they're going to try to catch them just before show center. Looks like they're doing a pretty good job making all the timing in that. There you can see the speed difference, the energy that the solos have over the slower aircraft. And they've got enough speed and energy that they're going to perform a side-by-side loop right alongside that formation. Now as they go over the top in that loop, they're running about the same speed as the group below. But downhill, they're going to pick up all that energy back, and they're going to be able to catch it again. We're right back in show center for the double pass. Hey, Rick Nichols to the right. That's Ron McCann. He didn't want to be left out of the show here, so he's got something back to the right side there. Thank you very much. Speaking of Brian, Brian's a local boy here. He flies for a major airline out of Chicago. He's been flying for over 30 years now. He's got 20,000 flying hours.
Just got to think like they do.
2 solos that were doing a loop in that maneuver. One of them, Gary Donovan. And Gary's flying for a major airline down there out of Atlanta. The 737 captain, retired Air Force major, currently a glider pilot and a current flight instructor. And then opposing solos, John Rippinger, another local boy, lives in Schaumburg. He's the president of his own financial group over there. And John's been flying for over 45 years in both fixed-wing aircraft and balloons, believe it or not. He was a co-pilot in a gas balloon named Chicago back in 1981. He won the U.S. National Championship. All right, this next maneuver is one of my favorite ones. Another head-to-head maneuver, another perfect opportunity for you camera takers, picture takers, video, whatever you're doing there. So off to the left, you've got 2 aircraft going back up into that V formation. To pick off to the right 3 more. And again, they're head-to-head with each other at that explosion rate of over 300 miles an hour. Timing out here, so they got to cross right here at show center, but they're looking right at each other. They got each other in sight. Let's see what happens here. It's looking pretty close. They got the slow ride. Oh, looks like they turn right to the center of each other. All the big pieces are still in there. That's a good idea. We're here when we get them all. Nicely done. Thank you very much. 2 aircraft off to the left, and they depart that 2.5 Q&A. execute the opposing loop. Blue sky, that smoke stands out really nice in that blue sky today. Now the one solo off to the left there, he's going to complete with another half QD. He's going to put the box high overhead with the show center. That's our leader. He's going to do what they call the leader's choice. So let's see what he does here. Let's see, he's going upside down. He's got to complete. He's got to start with what we call a split. The last half of the loop there. Well, we certainly like to thank all our sponsors, especially all the sponsors putting on the show here today. Also like to thank the entire team and volunteer staff. See all these gentlemen up here on the podium in red shirts. They're the ones who put this show on for you. Rudy, where's the air boss? He's over there. Herb. I think they've all done a great job with all the volunteers, all the EMS, and all the law enforcement here today helping out. I think they deserve a round of applause, please. Thank you. Back to Show Center, 2 more of our aircraft doing something we call this the opposing 360. They're going to do 2 mid-radius turns right alongside. It's kind of like the start of a dogfight. They got each other in sight, so they turn towards each other. As they cross, they're going to go back into the turn. Get a high G turn, spinning around each other, just kind of simulate the dogfight. Leading that formation, that maneuver, that's what another rover for you. March your 3rd generation, about a little 1,200 flying hours. Probably have to update this book. He's probably got more than that by now. He's the design engineer for a major earth-moving equipment manufacturer. This next maneuver, we call it the squirrel cage. We've got 3 aircraft. Back into a fixed formation. You see high to the right. Diving down back to the show center.
Dad's having a ball.
That pressure energy they're going to need for this maneuver. We're going to do 3 maneuvers back to back to back. So focus on diving out for the first one. We're going to do a formation loop here. Keep that maneuver, the leader will pop it out of the formation one at a time. There you go, 1, followed by 2. There goes 3. They're going to do a half Q&A, individual, half Q&A. They do a tail chip. We're just going to go into a little follow the leader here. Do an in-trail loop. Setting up for the next video, I'd like to thank one of our other sponsors, people from Black Ice personal cooling system. All our pilots are wearing these today. They're kind of a little neck thing they wear around their neck that's you can keep it in the freezer and it keeps that neck nice and cool in these hot weather, hot summer days here. You can check them out at blackicecooling.com is their website. The next maneuver, we call this the switchblade. Another great photo opportunity. The object behind this is the 2 guys are going to try to hide a smoke in the sky here. There they are, back to the second now, they're going to the focus on. And it goes across, crossing past there, crossing that smoke trail with the actual smoke knot there. That's Mark Miller and Steve Smith performing that one. Steve's a former Air Force pilot, over 4,000 hours flying, he's currently executive for the National Marketing Department of Baltimore Airlines. this next maneuver is another great photo opportunity. We call this the bombers. We're going to have 4 aircraft hind or right diving down here shortly. We'll have the cameras out ready for that. There they are directly behind me, diving down, smoke on. For the bombers. Boulevard, they split up there. There's the bomb burst there. Nice photo opportunity. Hey, if you'd like to go surfing on the web, go check out our award-winning website, www.limalima.com. As the team heads off to the south there, they're going to join back up in their 6 aircraft formation. So watch them how they do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the maneuvers you have seen today hold a significance far beyond that of demonstration flying. The formation flying and aerobatics performed this far have been learned and mastered by every military pilot since the 1930s. In light of their mission as guardians of our liberty and freedom, members of the military are asked to bear the burden of our country's defense, a task which sometimes asks these brave men and women to give their lives in her name. The place Iwo Jima, the Stone, Fallujah,
He's the missing man from
Hanoi,
about this way.
Mogadishu,
Is that a
Mosul,
final pass?
Baghdad. Foreign may be,
Join up into
but
a
their
wedge,
names hold a significance to the families whose loved ones were
and they'll
lost.
play taps.
In the air, on the land, or at sea, there are consequences to ensuring the values of freedom. The man or woman who never returns to base, the pilot whose revetment remains empty after the mission, the echoing silence of the missing men in the roll call. It is to these fallen heroes the missing man formation is dedicated. The symbol of the pilot and plane leaving the formation never to return. Departing friends who gave the ultimate for us in the name of freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, as the formation approaches, may I ask you all for a moment of silence, and may we dedicate this moment to the memory of our friends who have fallen.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your silence and respect. We fly the missing man tribute to honor all those that have served to keep our country strong. And you've heard it before. Freedom comes through. A number of us on the team are former military. In fact, just about all of our members of the team associated with the military in some way. Our leader is a retired lieutenant colonel from the Air Force, Skip. Gary and Steve are both retired majors from the Air Force. John Ricketts there, and he wasn't in the military, but his father was. He flew B-24 in the Pacific Theater in World War II. In fact, his father-in-law was on the aircraft carrier Hornet in October of '42 and was sunk by the Japanese. That was the carrier that launched the Doolittle raiders. He actually survived the sinking of that ship and lived for a long and happy life. Myself, I'm a retired Naval Lieutenant Commander, one of those carrier pilots that I heard was talking about earlier, throwing their aircraft onto the deck at night. Glad I don't do that again. All right, next up, back to all 6 aircraft in formation for our final series of turns. The boss takes the Ca&Ws to Riverdale. I see him back behind us, high behind us. Back into that 6 aircraft wedge. The smoke is coming on. This maneuver is great for demonstrating speed with the 6 aircraft wedge. It's also flying skills of the Lima Lima pilot. To the right in a high bank, the right-hand turn there. A great photo opportunity, especially as they pass back to show second. Example of 6 aircraft flying as one. The leader's job is to be predictable, very smooth on his input. Makes it easier for his 5 wingmen to hang in there. All 5 of them are just focused completely on that number 1 aircraft.
Is that our bag?
I'm not sure.
Take the show center of the boss is going to lead them through one more 270-degree turn. And one more time for you, the 2013 Lima Lima Flight Team. Thank you very much. It's been our pleasure. Thank you for coming out here and turning back over to the boys.
I think it went good.
Well, we'll see how Skip likes that. Thank you.